are so back.
Texas is so back.
We're setting up, but would you like to do an interview? Every loss ever. I do have one question. Is it rivalry, showdown, or shootout?
Shootout.
That's what I think so too.
Yeah.
That's what I think so too. They gotta quit changing the name.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Red River Rivalry.
Although it's easier to say because you try to say Red River Rivalry, blah, blah, blah.
I have so many times I'm like, Red River Rivalry, like I can't say it. Is Texas back?
No.
We're back. How much do you hate Oklahoma?
I hate Oklahoma more than anything in the world. They can go to hell for all I care.
How much do you guys hate Texas?
You know, hate's a little strong, but strongly dislike is definitely a true statement.
That's nice. I would have just said hate.
10 out of 10, definitely hate.
Yeah. He hates Texas.
I've become...
Do you guys hate Oklahoma?
So much. I hate Oklahoma more than anything in the entire world. I hate Oklahoma. There's world hunger, and then my hatred for Oklahoma is right here.
There's cancer and then there's Oklahoma.
Hell yeah!
Know where our priorities are at.
Look, I don't say I disagree right now. These are my two favorite guys the whole day.
Fuck 'em!
Back talking and whatnot.
This is my first fried food of the day. Because all you guys want is for me to eat fried food here. Corn dog, 8 a.m. Why not? What are you going to miss most about the Big 12?
Nothing.
Nice.
I really won't miss much because we're going to destroy the SEC. Give us Georgia! Give us Georgia!
Lincoln Riley, how does that make you feel?
It makes me look at orange and puke. Burnt, like his brisket.
Chasing the money, always chasing the money.
Do you watch the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz?
Yeah, I listen every single day.
We do.
Absolutely.
Yes. Duh.
Now I will, and you should too!
Oh, yeah.
Horns down, how is it?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, nice! We have the Oklahoma fans are now on the Texas side, so just go switch real fast. I am absolutely switching teams over here. It's called playing both sides. You can't lose. Switching sides. Stugotz. I've decided that I'm not going to check the Iowa score. Not even going to look at it. Having a great day, and I'm going to let it continue. Who's your favorite person on the show?
I like Stugotz.
Yeah. Gotsy. Yeah.
We were looking for Lucy, but that's a good second answer.
Dan.
Stop the camera! Stop it!
I love Dan Le Batard.
I'll let you on.
Are you Lucy?
I am.
Lucy, I love you.
I love you.
Oh my God.
Lucy is on God Bless Football today. She admits that she wept during that game. She was just moved by all of the adjacent emotions around that.
Yep.
Just so people know, Oklahoma and Texas, it's a big money sport, obviously, paid $100 million to get out of their conference deals combined so that they could be in the SEC. And Jeremy found himself also moved by the things in that rivalry. Those games always seem to be close. They always seem to be dramatic, no matter how much better one of the teams is than the other. But when Mike Ryan asks me, well, Dan, how do you feel about what happened to the University of Miami as someone who went there? The answer is not like that. At 54 years old, just things have happened in my life that almost always make me put sports in a proper perspective that makes it more joyless than I wish that it was, less emotional than I wish that it was, because I'm interested in the sociology and the stories. But the games themselves, Mario Cristobal doesn't make me enraged where I can't sleep Saturday night because I'm so mad about what happened. But I understand that that's where our customers live. I understand that all of us get to make a living because of how people care about sports that way. Jeremy's sitting there watching Texas, Oklahoma. I don't know which game, Stugotz, from the weekend you found the most interesting, but
that one.
I mean, Texas Texas is feeling like they're back because they somehow got the Manning brother at quarterback, or the Manning child, Manning prodigy.
Well, they beat Alabama, and Ewers is playing so well. Like, he was playing so well headed into that game, and he played well in that game, but Sark cost him a game.
I was so blown away by the first 3 minutes of that football game. I have not found myself that emotionally invested in a game that I had no reason to be emotionally invested in forever. And it was just, you could feel not only the emotion in the stadium, but through the players, that this is like one of the last remaining real rivalries where Dylan Gabriel's playing quarterback in this game after missing it last year, and so he's got something to overcome. You've got Ewers and his clear nerves at the beginning. He throws a pick at the very beginning of the game that leads to an Oklahoma touchdown. Then this unbelievable full length of the field drive that ends in an interception at the goal line, and then a block punt for a touchdown. It's 7-7 after 3 minutes, and there was more that happened in those 3 minutes than most of the football games I've watched all season in entirety.
Seemingly all the big plays happened as another team was right about to score.
Yeah.
Like, they all happened in the end zone. There was one that happened in the third quarter, and you're like, that might decide the game, but there's probably going to be 7 more important moments before this game ends. I love how early it is in the college football season. I know there's a lot of Ohio State, Michigan people, but it's just such a joy to watch a high noon start in the Cotton Bowl, a 50-50 divided stadium at the State Fair. It's one of my favorite traditions, and it's what makes college football the closest thing to European soccer here in the state in terms of tribalism and pride and prestige and pomp and circumstance. I love it all. It was a bizarre viewing experience, especially towards the end, because you have a player being carted out, and then ABC News breaks in, and a lot of people are learning, how bad everything is going on over in Israel, and then you go right back to the fireworks of Red River. It was a breakneck experience. I loved it.
That was the quickest update to a war I've ever seen. I mean, it was 1 minute back to football. It was crazy.
The electricity was such that Pat McAfee, who was partaking in a 33-yard field goal for $45,000 that a student was trying to win, he called that experience the most bananas thing he's ever been a part of. I'm pretty sure he did a backflip off a turnbuckle at WrestleMania.
And then he got stunned by Stone Cold Steve Austin.
For him to call that the most bananas thing he's ever been a part of is at least in part because you can tell in that video with Lucy, the emotion around that. I don't know how much is that going to change. Like, I've read that that's going to die. That rivalry isn't going to feel like that. It's one of the things that's going to hurt the most in the cash transaction that is college football now. I think one of the things that you're going to lose.
I think that's part of the reason why it was hitting me so much right at the beginning of the game in watching these teams and the emotion that was there. It was like, for the first time in a while, and what feels like it might be the last time, I felt like I was just watching college kids who were there for the uniforms that were on the front of the chest and like all of the cliches that we always say. No, look, hey, Dylan Gabriel is the ultimate example. He left UCF for Oklahoma specifically for NIL. Like, these are guys that are existing in this world, but for whatever reason, based off of the pomp and circumstance around it, it felt like college football in such a specific way.
It helped that both teams were 5-0. Both teams were in national championship contention. Both teams have a shot at the playoffs. They still do, I guess. Texas does.
Both teams have red-ass coaches
that
run red the entire time.
Because
they both have neck veins that pop out. Venables looks insane.
Oh, my God.
He looks like
nuts.
Fire Marshal Bill. Like, it's crazy looking at him. I can hear his teeth grit.
Yes.
And Sark, I just haven't liked since that video before the bowl game where the cameraman or the field producer is just telling him, hey, stand back. And he's like, don't you touch me! That was crazy. Do you remember that video?
Juju,
Get your hands off me, guy! Like, holy shit!
It's his
Like,
birthday,
relax.
Jeremy. Give him a break.
Give him a break.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Do the veins in Venables' neck have muscles from all the work they get from the rage? because he does. Fire Marshal Bill is a good reference if dated in Living Color, one of Jim Carrey's first characters, and he does give off a certain level of insanity. Billy, I don't know whether college football made the cut for you, Billy, but I was floored to hear that you won an inter-family divide in that you got to put a second projector in the house for sports.
Well, he thinks he won.
That your wife didn't want in the house. Was college football on it? When did you decide to do this? How did you decide to do this? And what were you doing it for?
Well, so here's the deal, is I have discussed possibly doing this for some time because the wall that the TV is in the living room is rather barren. And I've, I feel like I've given ample time for frames to go up or whatever, and there's still nothing there. So I have at times joked, I'm going to get another TV and put it there, to which my wife said, no, you're not. This is not a sports bar. So I said, okay, well, I can't do that. I can't get another TV and just mount it on the wall because that's very obvious.
That's a classic line from the wife.
Yeah. So
I did the same thing.
Put it on the poll.
We've all been there.
Has your partner/wife ever said to you, this is not a sports bar when you're trying to decorate the home with televisions?
Well, so I've been trying to figure out a workaround, and I figured out this projection thing a little while ago. And I always thought, like, hey, last football season I was really thinking about it, and I even threw it out there, like, I think I'm going to get a projector and project onto the wall. And my wife said, no, you're not. And then this year,
it's not a sports bar.
Yeah, it's not a sports bar. And then this year I went on Amazon and I found one for $35, and I said, this is a risk worth taking. I will buy this for $35, and if I get in trouble, I will deal with the ramifications for $35 because I just need a proof of concept. So I did it this weekend. And then I had to, hang a dark sheet over one of the windows, which she was not a fan of. So I don't know how long this is going to last. I feel like the days of watching two sporting events at the same time are numbered because I think what's going to happen is I'm going to have the game on the projection and Cocomelon's going to be on the main TV, and I'm going to have to watch it on mute. And I've really done myself a disservice and shot myself in the foot and given them an option. But for 1 week, Dan, it was absolutely glorious.
For 1 week.
And Dylan Gabriel delivered, baby.
It was so good.
Billy Sports Bar.
What was on the TV?
Red Zone and the Dolphins. Yeah. Then Red Zone and Sunday Night Football.
Hey, Dad. Thank you for not texting me about Miami over the weekend. I appreciate that more than the happy birthday call.
Oh,
I know you thought about it. And you probably thought better about it. You did.
Time difference also worked in my
Yeah. Well,
the 3 hours and all of that. So I couldn't see the game anyway.
you didn't miss much.
We don't have time, Papa Ruiz. We're doing a show here.
Unless you want to make fun of your son.
Let's do Stugotz's weekend observations.
It is time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Weekend observations.
Hang on, give me a second.
Okay. Dad's still on the line?
I just hung up on him.
Did you hang up on your dad? That was amazing.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It's weekend observations.
He was wishing you a happy birthday.
He asked me if it was 38.
He didn't know what year it was? He didn't know how old you were turning?
No. I mean, no, he guessed right.
Brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories, available for delivery. Dan, it wasn't too long ago when the only things we had were regular season baseball and Joey Chestnut. But with college football and the NFL in full swing, plus the Major League Baseball playoffs, plus the NBA and hockey season starting very soon, Dan, make no mistake about it, sports
really
are back.
Just all of sports.
Sports are back. This is the best time of the year on the sports calendar.
You say that
I
every
do.
month except the Joey Chestnut
Right.
month. You say that about every single
I do,
month.
especially April.
March Madness.
It's a good time, though. You agree, right?
I mean,
everything's happening.
There are a lot of sports going on,
yeah.
except for when Joey Chestnut, those couple of days where he's eating hot dog.
Yep. Pretty certain when the new BCS standings come out, the Miami Hurricanes will no longer be number one. Dan, you know what the M in Mario Cristobal stands for?
I do not.
Not math. You know what the C stands for?
I do not.
Not championships. Dan, brace yourself. I'm serious.
I'm braced.
Hold on to something. Obi Toppin is a pacer. Oh, wow. It's all happening.
I would have thought that. What's all happening?
Sports!
I would have thought that you would have known that as a proud Nick fan.
Proud? What are you talking about? Dan, remember that thing I said about something being off in Athens? It's fixed.
Never mind. Never mind. You bet Kentucky.
Keep it moving. Yeah.
You bet Kentucky plus 14.5.
Plus 15. I bought it up.
Why would you buy that up?
I don't know. Just in case it landed on 15.
He's got a problem with buying things down and up to the point where I think he spends more money buying things up and down than he wins on bets that he gets.
You're right, Billy.
He just doesn't like the half point and wants to obliterate it, wants to eradicate the half point.
College football, chaos. Lionel Messi, bust. Mike Conley is a T-Wolf. Oh, boy. I am doing a service for the audience. The NBA season will start, and rather than be shocked when you see it, I'm telling you right now. Okay?
I would defy people in our audience to name Mike Conley's last couple of teams.
He played 24 games for the Timberwolves last year.
He did?
Uh-huh.
He was Utah before that, right?
Correct.
And what about before that?
What?
Memphis for his whole career.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought there was a stop between Memphis and Utah.
The second I heard Dick Butkus passed away, I regretted my bet on the Commanders. You don't beat the Bears anytime Dick Butkus passes away. Rest in peace. Too soon?
What, to rest in peace?
I mean, he only passes away once. I said anytime. Too soon?
Well, it had never happened before.
1-0.
It's weird. It did inform what I would do with Thursday Night Football. Hey, Cole Kmet scored a touchdown. You saw that?
The Bears out of nowhere. Yeah, but we had in our parlay, we had Washington
Commanders
on the money line.
Yeah, we nailed two of the three.
We didn't know. I mean,
we didn't know that Dick Butkus was going to die.
Right. Had we known.
That should come with an asterisk. You're absolutely right.
Thank you. Texas and Oklahoma.
That had to be a tough name to grow up with, unless you're Dick Butkus. It's a very tough name for a child to have.
So is Wiener.
Imagine your Dick Wiener.
Right. Dick Kiss.
Dick Paul.
Kiss, yeah.
Dick Kiss Wiener.
Yeah. It's redundant. It's not. Dick Butkus is a truly terrible name for a child to have.
But a great name for a linebacker.
I mean, I think only because he was a great linebacker are we saying it's a great name for a linebacker. I think it's just a terrible name.
Texas and Oklahoma at the Cotton Bowl. That's what SEC football is all about. Someone asked me over the weekend, Matthew McConaughey, cool or crazy? You can only pick one.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know which one to pick.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Le Batard Show. McConaughey, cool or crazy? You can only pick one. It's tough because I would say yes. Cool or crazy? Yes.
Yep.
I mean, he got arrested for playing bongos naked.
In his own house. That was like...
It's invasion of privacy.
That was bullshit.
You're right, Tony. It's his house.
He just barged in his house and arrested a man playing bongos naked. Mind your own business. Yeah, he was a little loud. You don't...
Missouri, you're exactly who we thought you were. Death, taxes, and Verstappen. That guy. Every year, every week.
Every race.
No one, and I mean no one, loves a goal line stand more than Brett Venables. Dan, you know what the G in Dylan Gabriel stands for?
I do not.
Gonads.
Oh, wow.
Big, gigantic gonads. What a drive. What a play. What a player. In the conversation. No, he inserted himself into the conversation. He did.
Go Knights.
Which conversation?
The Heisman conversation, and Oklahoma's in the national championship conversation.
No.
What do you mean, no?
I mean, he had a good game against Texas. I will not dispute it. I've watched him play this year. He is not as good as Penix. He's not as good as Drake May. He's not as good as Caleb Williams. He's not nearly as good as any of these people.
Yeah, and we've been talking about dumb ones. Venables is good for a dumb one.
Mm-hmm. Not certain what nepotism looks like, but I'm pretty certain it looks like Drake Stoops.
Got a big pass.
He did.
He's good.
One pass.
You know,
Old
he's good.
Stoopsy.
It's actually fun watching him and the crowd coming alive, going Stoops.
Washington, Oregon, de facto playoff game. You can't say Stoopsy without putting an Ole in front of it.
Really?
Yes.
So if you're saying
Ole Stoopsy.
Okay,
Yeah.
Ole with an apostrophe.
Yes. Thought you were going to put it on the poll. Grant Williams is a Maverick. Texas A&M quarterback Mac Johnson threw a TD pass to his brother Jake Johnson. You, of course, know what that means, Dan. It means a couple of Johnsons were cutting it up at College Station. How about that?
Max Johnson.
Whatever. What did I say?
I mean, yeah, I think you're right. It's not Connor Wegman, that's for sure.
259 yards passing, 130 yards rushing for JT Daniels. You know what he did, Dan?
I don't know what he did.
You really? You don't know what he did?
Did it all?
Good guess, but no.
Oh, that's too bad.
He did a little bit of everything.
Oh, a little bit of everything. Well, it sounds like he did a lot of.
Wait
all
a
of
second.
it.
JT Daniels is still around?
No way.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels.
Oh,
It's a fine. It's a fine.
Well, hang on.
It's a fine. I'll pay it right now. It's a fine. Jaden Daniels.
Oh my God, JT Daniels is also still around.
I'm good.
He's
But is it?
he's at Rice. He looks
really?
like someone that's going to Rice.
He threw for 362 yards in a loss to UConn.
Wow.
Stugotz, you got to pay the fine. You just fined yourself.
No, I didn't.
But him being around, he's not who you were talking about.
I was talking about Jaden Daniels.
Well, then what? It's a fine.
Third school now for JT Daniels.
Really?
Yeah. Georgia, West Virginia. Fourth?
Yeah. Start at USC.
Oh, yeah, USC.
Yeah.
Fourth school for
Wow.
JT Daniels.
That's college sports.
I think college sports is a Colorado State kicker with 3 kids who's 31. I think that's college sports.
That's like Lewis kicking. Which I'd be all in on, by the way. Guy's got a boot.
You heard it here first. Ohio State will never win a national championship with Kyle McCord as their quarterback. Not happening. He's not good enough. If LSU was undefeated, Jaden Daniels would be the Heisman frontrunner. Cam Reddish is a Laker. I'd love to see a fight between Mick Cronin and Brent Venables. You wouldn't have to tell them to fight to the death. They just would.
It's a given.
It's all they know.
It's a given.
Yeah. You just put them in the same room, and Venables is breaking a pole
It's
cue.
redundant. It's redundant to say, hey, you need to fight to the death. Like, what do you mean? That's why we're fighting.
Are there any other kind?
Why would I fight for any other reason?
There's something going on with the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, it's that you can't give 100-win teams 5 days off and expect to not ruin the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Atlanta Braves, do it in the postseason. Lionel Messi, do it in the postseason. Brock Purdy, do it in the postseason. Clayton Kershaw, the gift that keeps on giving. I mean, Jesus.
Did you see the stat line? Do you know the stat line?
No.
A third of an inning, 6 runs, 6 hits. 1/3 of an inning. He got 1 out. Nobody cares that the 100-win teams clearly had their timing thrown off.
Nah. I do, Dan.
Nope.
Nobody
I'm very
cares.
upset about it.
Nope.
Baltimore's a great offensive team. Atlanta hasn't looked like they looked in game 1 all season. Not once in a game
So
this
there's
season.
an advantage to being a wild card team?
There's
Yes.
the advantage.
No. Set your rotation. Get out of here.
Stugotz, the 300-win teams couldn't hit the baseball in the first game because their timing was all
So
screwed
lose
up.
more in the regular season. See Kershaw's ERA, Stugotz?
What?
162.
Do it in the postseason. The Giants' defense has more first-half touchdowns than their offense. The Tennessee Titans did what the Tennessee Titans do.
It's 1, right the way? It's 1.
Yes.
It's 1. And
Yes.
So the Giants defense has 1 first half touchdown.
Yesterday,
And
yeah.
the Giants don't have any first half
Correct.
touchdowns.
Their offense.
Their
right.
offense, okay.
So did Mike Tomlin, by the way. He did what Mike Tomlin does.
He has to be stopped. Someone needs to stop
You
him.
can't stop him.
You can't do that to my football. You can't make me watch that, and at the end you're 3-2, Tomlin, and I'm looking around and I'm like, how the hell are you 3-2?
He can't keep getting away with this.
How are
But
you
he does.
3-2 and the
Yeah.
Vikings are 1-4? How is that? What?
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett, who refuses to throw the ball downfield.
Stat of the day, The Jets' 3-0 first quarter lead yesterday was the first time they had a lead in regulation the entire season.
I got a stat of the day for
That's
you.
the first time they had a lead in regulation the entire season. Big win, though.
I think I can top you, though, with today's stat of the day.
What do you got?
Jim Harbaugh, in his playing career, this is stunning, had more rushing yards than Bo Jackson.
Come on. It's impossible.
No way.
It's impossible.
You're picturing
I
him
don't
in
believe it.
khakis, aren't you? In the backfield. You're
Of course I
picturing.
am,
You're
yes.
not.
Even if it's true, it can't be true.
It is true. I couldn't believe it either. I think it's one of the greatest stats I've ever heard.
I'm going to blow your mind, Jeremy. There was a time where Jim Harbaugh was the swaggiest quarterback in the league.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, he wore a headband. He was called Captain Comeback.
Tough.
He was just this gunslinging
Toughness.
scrambler.
Yeah.
The guy who drinks glasses of milk?
That guy.
Didn't he punch a reporter one time?
He was a
too?
swaggy QB.
He was. Beat the Chargers and the Bengals. Lose to the Saints, Browns, and Colts. That's Tennessee Titans football. They're the best. Dan, brace yourself again because Rudy Gay is a warrior. He's still playing.
Close friend, personal.
He's a warrior?
He's a warrior.
He's going to finally get that ring.
Yeah, coming off the bench. Jamar Chase was right. He's always open. Joe Burrow, good to see you again. 60 Minutes, the godfather of artificial intelligence. That's what I'm talking about. AI. For the second consecutive Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern, I sat there wondering how the hell the Jets lost to the Patriots. At home! Speaking of hell, Art Briles. Dan, those are the weekend observations.